Cats can be found everywhere, but the last place we think of is out on the streets. Feral cats are those who were once domesticated and now face the harsh realities of the cold streets of Toronto. As humans were the cause. As of 2014, there are an estimated 100,000 stray and feral cats in Toronto, and colonies can be found in almost every single neighborhood in our city. This is a major problem.
Hi, come on in. Welcome to North Toronto Cat Rescue. Yes. Come on in, we'll have a quick tour of our shelter and all our cats. We have room 1 here on our right, where that contains quite a number of cats, as you can see. They all have names, they all have stories, they all have biographies. We'll continue. We have room 3, and room 3 as well has a lot of kitties in here to welcome you. This little boy has just come in through the gullies and ravines, and that's how they come in. Yes, I know. And we will show you a kitty that has turned the corner that was a lot worse than him. They call him Grey Wolf.
Come on, greeters. Come on, little greeters, out of the way.
This room, there's a little boy, Brutus. Brutus came in nastier than Grey Wolf. He was super, super nasty. This is Brutus, and Brutus now is a lap cat. This little girl came from the streets of Barrie, where she almost got hit by a car. I suspect, certainly she had an owner. They put up signs, they could not find an owner, and possibly she was perhaps owned by an older lady who could no longer look after her. Maybe her family put her outside. We don't know her story. But she certainly had a family at one time, and wasn't lacking food. She's quite a big cat. This one is Mandy. Mandy loves people. She needs a home so bad. Hey, Oliver. Oliver. Hi, Oliver. He's a greeter as well as Brutus. This little boy came in, he only weighed about 2 pounds. And he went in. It took me a long time to trap him. He is FIV positive, but he's the most gentlest soul in the world, and he just sits here on this sofa. He's been so beat up outside. He has now gained a lot of weight, and he's okay now.
He's the oldest one.
He probably is. They figure he's about 11. There's a cat's den, which we will look at as well. They have entrance to go to the den through that hole in the window, but through tunnels. They can tunnel outside, but as you see, most of them don't even go out. They just stay in. But we'll go up there first. This is the den where they can go through the tunnels from upstairs and downstairs, but you won't see a whole lot of cats out here because they prefer to be inside. So for people who tell me that cats want to be outside, it's not exactly the truth. They come from outside, they stay inside by their choice. And we make sure that door is closed, please. Just pull it shut. This room is another room of kitties where we're going to find a cat called Esso. Here's Esso, right here. He came from an Esso service station up the road when he was trapped, and you can see he's hugging with another kitty. Esso had an extremely infected eye that was out, and the infection was starting to get into his brain. When we got him, he was only 6 months old. So outside, they live very, very, very short lives. Things are fixable. So his eye was removed, and he was cured. Another 2 weeks outside, he would have been dead. So outside animals have a brutal life, a brutal life. The cold, infections that are fixable, as I mentioned. We're not a spay, neuter, and release group. We don't put them back out, but it is a huge problem out there, and there just isn't space for them all to come in. But anything in my traps doesn't ever go out again, ever. We find homes for them, but we don't put them back out. These guys are, most people call them ferals that we bring in. I have to tell you, I don't believe that there are many ferals out there. There's a lot of scared cats, though, but not a lot of ferals.
What?
When they first come, they are put in a crate, these big dog crates, where they have elbow room. They're not in little cubicles. And then they are vetted. They are taken to the vet. They are spayed, neutered, vaccinated, dewormed, given a clean bill of health. And then they're allowed to associate with all the rest. So that's why if there's any crating going on, it's because they're new or they have a cold, and we'll segregate them. Sometimes they come in, they have diarrhea, and we have to figure out what it is. It's usually a parasite from drinking dirty water outside. All fixable, but we have to segregate, find out what the parasite is, treat it. When we get an all clear, they're allowed out. There are cats everywhere. Everywhere, behind restaurants and gullies, ravines, dumpsters, under buildings, and particularly restaurant areas I emphasize because there is where sometimes they can find a scrap of food. Here in this area there are cats running around. We have woodlots around this area, and people come and just dump them in the woodlots. We're in crisis with cats outside. Humans are the cause, and many times I get calls to take their cat because it's not cute anymore. It was only cute as a kitten. They got it on Kijiji, didn't have to pay for it, not paying for it now, and out it goes. Volunteers are our backbone in here, and we're always looking for volunteers. Again, we do support school young folks that are doing their community hours. They can volunteer here. And we do have quite a number throughout the winter. In the summer, we have a lot of university students that come here, and they're great too. We just leave such a void in September. So it's a seasonal thing sometimes with volunteers. If a volunteer is interested, they go to our website and send in the contact information, mentioning that they wish to volunteer, at which time myself or another one of our representatives will call them, chat with them about the work because they usually have questions, and see, if they're agreeable to come in and have an orientation. There's always an orientation hour or two to, so that they understand our protocols and so on. And that's all there is to it. This is not rocket science, but it is hard. It's a lot of work. If people are interested in an animal, remember that cats in particular can live 18 to 25 years. So it is really like adopting a child. There is nowhere for these animals to go if you change your mind in 3 or 4 or 5 years or 10 years. Unless family take them, they end up perhaps in a pound. It's a sad thing. There's nowhere for them to go. So it's an obligation, it's a duty when you adopt a pet of any kind that you are obligating yourself for the lifetime of that pet. But cats in general have quite long lives as a rule, and you need to be in it for the long run, really. And one lady even asked me if we had any kittens that never grow up. And I did in turn ask her if she grew up. Cats and kittens are about the same.